This is Eric Sturm, and this video is a introduction into if you're wanting to become a youth referee, a new youth referee, what makes a good youth referee. And it might surprise you. I'll tell you what, as a scheduler, as a recruiter, and as a head official for a big sports organization down here in Houston, Texas, what I'm looking for in new officials. First off is availability. And by availability, in the football season, which is going to start in 12 days for us, this is August 28th, I believe, of 2022. Our opening day starts September 10th, and it is all hands on deck. It's a Saturday, and almost every organization has games on Saturday, and some of them only have games on Saturday, and it's a full day endeavor. So that brings us to bullet point number one, availability. Saturdays are almost a given. If you're a new official, you've got to be available on Saturdays. I mean, later on down the road, you might be able to work with, or leagues may work with you where you can do weeknights only because you have other obligations. But if you're a brand new official, and even when I started in my first year, I had something going on a Saturday that I really wanted to do, and I was pretty much told, hey, if you can't work Saturdays, I don't need you. Well, guess what? I canceled the other thing that I wanted to do and did what I needed to do, and that's pretty much everybody. Saturdays and availability are mandatory. I've not found a lot of organizations that have games on Sundays. There are some, but usually Sundays are not a day, at least with football, that I'm seeing any youth football games being held. They're probably out there, but Sundays are a day that if you're able to work and you're wanting to work, that's going to be a rarity. If you find a league that offers Sunday games and you're able to fit them into your lifestyle, God bless. You know, I haven't been able to do that. So my Sundays have been generally sports free for me. Weeknights, depends upon the league, how many games. The league that I work for has been around for over 50 years. This year, they had a record registration, a record number of teams sign up. Matter of fact, by all metrics, an increase of 25%. It's amazing. So that correlates to a need for additional officials. For me, for probably all the leagues. So there are plenty of opportunities out there if you're a new official or you're wanting to become a new referee to get involved. Next thing is dependability. You could be available, but it comes Saturday morning, you call up your scheduler, I can't make it. I've got an emergency. All right, something like that happens. It's happened to me one time in 25 years, as far as me personally. And I felt bad about it. I got sick, and I missed my first game on a weeknight, but I made it in for the second game, and fortunately we had coverage there for the first game. But it killed my record of being 100% never missing a game, that was my frustration. But I can't tell you the number of times that I get calls day of, an hour before the game, 3 hours before the game, whatever. Oh, I can't make it. You know, once, okay. Twice, I don't know. 5 times, you're not dependable. Dependability is important. Most programs have a scheduling software of some sort where you mark down when you're available way ahead of time, and then when we get the scheduling games, we kind of compare the two lists and we plug you in based upon your availability. You said you were available. We gave you games. Show up for your games. That's a commitment. You're making a commitment. You're making a commitment to the league. You're making a commitment to the scheduler. But more importantly, you're making a commitment to the kids. So Dependability is extremely, extremely important. I'll give you an example. I have a referee that is, for all practical purposes, is spot on being on top of the rules, very diligent about calls. He just really stands out on his own. I had one season where he blew off games that he was marked down as available 5 times. I'll tell you what, I'd rather use someone that's only half as good as him, that's 100% dependable, than someone that's not going to be there. I mean, I can't use that. So, I mean, to emphasize, dependability is extremely important with officiating sports or any type of sports. It doesn't matter, but we're talking about football right now. Willingness to learn. If you're a new official, willingness to learn. Now, there's so many avenues. Let's say you've never played football, you've never coached football, you've never had children involved in football, and for some reason you woke up this morning and you decided that you want to become involved. It looks like an interesting thing to do. Don't let those other things deter you. Every league will have rule books. There are also, most leagues and youth sports will, if they don't have league-specific rules, will defer to high school rules. There are books out there on high school-specific referee rules, penalties, what the infractions are, what to call, case studies, examples. So the written word is out there. With the advent of YouTube, when I started, YouTube wasn't around. I couldn't plug in a video. I couldn't plug in a video on face guard or scissor block or pass interference on the defense. I couldn't specifically plug in examples or situations that I wanted to actually see on the video. But now today, you have access to that. I mean, and you don't have to learn every single infraction and every single aspect of it on day one. Look at it as putting food on your plate and taking one bite at a time. I'd rather have an official show up for his first game knowing maybe offsides infractions or line infractions or illegal motion, something simple, a couple things, and work on adding bullets to the chamber for an example, adding additional things as the day progresses or as the next day or the next week or your next scheduled games. You don't have to know everything. Just show up there, show up to your games with a willingness to learn. If you're paired up, and generally as a new referee, you'll be paired up with a seasoned person. Not always, but usually. Take advantage of them. During timeouts, go get with them. Talk to them. Ask them, hey, what did you think about that? Did I miss it? Would you call that? This is what happened. Go over things. Referees or officials that when they have spare moments, halftime, in between games, timeouts that go on their own, that are an island, they typically don't last. They're typically not enjoyable to work with, and they're not typically people that are serious about their trade. When I have any moments, I get with my partner every time. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I'm always seeing something new. I'm always trying to get a little bit better. Now, after 25 years, my improvements may only be a very minuscule amount. I may be kind of honing off the rough edges. But never assume that you're at the top of the heap. There's always room for improvement. And take advantage of that. I also personally have always believed in mentoring or getting with someone that I think has a higher skill set than I do, and getting with them and learning from them. A lot of times after games, when I'm driving home, I'll call up whoever it is and go over a play or a situation or a call and just see what they think. And I have people do that with me too, and I love it. And the people that do that with me, both me making calls and them taking my calls or them calling me, are the ones I know are serious. And as a scheduler, those are the guys that get the most games and get their preference on the games, because I know these are people that, you know, are just not out there filling a spot. I've had plenty of people that have came and gone that were just out there warm bodies collecting the paycheck. that really weren't in tune. So there's another thing to be looking at. Also, a passion for being around the sport, being around the coaches, being around the parents, being around the children. It's rough. Football, they have leagues where the kids are starting out, and I work with a league such as this that they start out at age 5. It's a different animal. I mean, you've got to have a passion. You've got to have a passion for that. And then it goes all the way up to high school. And then after that, I have numerous guys that I work with that do college ball. I have, as of yet, not been associated with anybody that has NFL experience, but that's okay. I'm not overly concerned with that. But I've worked with many, many people that are on college crews. There's typically 6 or 7 man crews doing college ball. And it's always interesting. I mean, they're somewhat more polished, but then again, when you have a 6, 7 man crew, everybody has very specific responsibilities. A lot of the games that you do in youth sports, you're doing a 2-man crew, or you're doing a 3-man crew. But a lot of the games, it's you and your partners. So you're looking for a lot more things. You have a lot more responsibilities, and that's not overwhelming. So don't get scared about that. Generally, you're there just to maintain the game's integrity, to keep the game moving along, to look out for players' safety, to enforce the rules that absolutely have an impact on the game. There are a lot of infractions, especially as the kids are younger or at the beginning of the season, that you'll see and you may not blow a whistle on. You're not there to clamp down on every little thing, especially at the younger age groups. So that was a kind of a brief introductory on what makes a good official, some of the basic personality traits. And another thing that makes a good official are 2 personal attributes. Your ears, listening to when coaches have questions, or maybe even the player might even come up and ask you a question in between innings or in between halftime or that type of thing. Utilize your ears. Listen. Next thing that is important, and I've found this to be invaluable, it's invaluable in life, that's a smile. When you've got a coach that's going off on you about something, or a parent or whatnot, it's amazing how much you can diffuse the situation with a smile on your face, even if you're wrong. Admitting that you're wrong, maybe saying, hey, maybe I missed it. In my judgment, I thought it was this. Maybe you're right, coach. Hey, but we're moving on. Having that smile on your face goes a million miles in every endeavor, especially in high tension situations such as sports, where these coaches think that this is like the Super Bowl and everything is on the line, and they are so amped up for the wins. You wouldn't believe it. But, I mean, that's just being competitive. And you got to realize that. Even though sometimes it comes across as personal, you can't have an ego. Having a smile on your face really helps out with a lot of situations that could turn sour. And just be aware of that. It's really easy to become involved and really have an impact, and you're needed. So I hope this brief little dialogue about a scheduler's perspective on new referees might encourage you to step out and give it a try. Opening season for the year 2022 across the country is getting ready to start. I guarantee you there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of leagues that are still in need of referees. Step out of your comfort zone and make some phone calls or get on the internet and see what's out there in your area and suit up. Drop some flags. The clock is ticking. We need you. God bless. This is Eric Sturm. I'd greatly appreciate any comments. If you're in the Houston area and you're possibly looking for to get involved with my organization, PM me. Send me a message, send me a comment, send me a contact information. I'll get back in touch with you. I'm probably looking for 2 or 3 other guys. We've got a full load. Like, comment, share. I love any subscribers. I'm trying to get to the 100 subscriber mark, which seems to be a little bit more challenging than what I anticipated. But it's a learning process. This is a learning process for me, not in football and sports, but with YouTubing. So please forgive, I'm polishing up the rough edges in this. Just like if you start doing football as a referee, you'll have rough edges that you're gonna need to get help polished up and smoothed out. And we're all in this together. Have a good day.